Lycanroc Dusk is a Pokemon that was able to dominate the first regional championship in Europe for Pokemon Champions. It's able to be a nice answer to Charizard Y because of Excel Rock, which is a priority rock type move, and Tough Claw's close combat does allow you to be able to hit King Gambit. Is that enough for it to be viable? Let's try it out in today's video. This is a team that was able to get several top placements at the Turn Special event. Let's break it down. So I think most of us do know about the common staple of King Gambit, Sneasler, and Basculegion at this point. It's just such a strong combination in the Regulation H format, and it still holds up in the Pokemon Champions format because it's really hard to be able to stop King Gambit, Sneasler, and Basculegion. Their typing is pretty incredible because you do have ways that they just complement each other, with the Ghost being a immunity to fighting type attacks for the King Gambit, as well as the ability to just hit several types in this format with Dark, Fighting, Poison, and Water Ghost coverage, which is fantastic against so many of the common Pokemon in this format. They all hit really hard as well, some of the highest attack stats in this game, especially with the adaptability on Basculegion, the Unburden on Sneasler, the Find on King Gambit to scare away and intimidate. There's so much that this combination can really do. And a lot that has been picking up recently especially has been the Saurus Dance King Gambit coming back once again. A lot of them were running the Chople plus the low kick set, and they still do sometimes, but Black Glass's Saurus Dance is just able to threaten so much, especially Pokemon like the Charizard Y. So King Gambit has been coming back into play, especially with the Saurus Dance that just wants to run a simple max HP and max attack variant with some Spadef, because you really just want the King Gambit to be able to take attacks and dish out enough damage. The Sneaslers, a lot of the Sneaslers have been running a bit bulkier, especially with the Unburden boost, especially when paired with Frostlass. So we are running that White Herb Sneasler, which is able to help out with the Sneasler from the close combat defense drops, but also Intimidate as well, and gain the double speed interaction. Fake Out support for King Gambit, of course, is incredible. And we are going to be running a pretty bulky Sneasler that a lot of players have been opting for. We are running with enough speed to be able to outspeed the Hisuian Arcanines, as well as some of the modest Eternal Floettes, as well as the Adamant Garchomp, so that's always nice there. And you don't need that much attack investment on Sneasler in order to do a lot of damage. This Basculegion, though, is a pretty interesting set. Citrus Berry with a lot of bulk, because we do see that we do have Aurora Veil on the Frostlass. And there are a few things that you can do with this Basculegion as well. It's pretty standard moveset otherwise: Wave Crash, Last Respect, Aqua Jet, and Protect. But the reason you do have access to the Citrus Berry as well as a lot of bulk is, as you can see, it's not running any speed investment. It's actually going to be a pretty bulky one that we have recreated here. And it was noted on stream that Scovillain was actually faster than Basculegion, which was pretty interesting because Scovillain is a pretty slow Pokemon. And you have to run a bit of speed investment on Scovillain to outspeed Basculegion, unless you're going to go with Brave on the Basculegion, but the Basculegion definitely wasn't Brave there. So why slower Basculegion? Well, it's because there's no speed control on this team, which is important. So when you think about it, like, all of the speed comes from priority or just a natural speed of like Sneasler, Frostlass, and Lycanroc. So one thing you also do want to note is that since you don't need speed on the Basculegion if you're running Citrus, then it's probably fine to decide to have it be like not max speed. But why are you going this slow? And the reason is this Scovillain is designed so if you have a Sinistcha position out, if you're facing down a Sinistcha team, you can actually go for an overheat into the Sinistcha, knock it out with overheat, which is kind of important because, hey, if you're trying to go for like an overheat plus Last Respect combination off, you would want the overheat to KO the Sinistcha. That way Basculegion can get an attack off, especially into like Delphox. So it's actually pretty useful there in that situation specifically. And that is the idea of this Basculegion set. The Frostlass is a pretty offensive one, because I think offensive Frostlass does make sense because you don't really have many special attackers on this team, so you want to be able to power through especially, and it is designed to be able to outspeed your own Sneasler and all the things that I mentioned before when the Sneasler is designed to outspeed. So that's kind of the idea. So you can go for like Blizzard plus close combat, kind of similar to the idea to the Scovillain plus Basculegion. If there's like a Sinistcha out on the field, you want to hit something with like a Blizzard close combat, and you don't have the White Herb active on the Sneasler, you can go for that attack with Frostlass, KO the Sinistcha ideally, and then Sneasler would be able to attack. Then we also have the Scovillain, which is also able to just take attacks well. It's both Scovillain, which is pretty interesting, so it's pretty physically defensive. We went for a jump point here, had a bit of speed to outspeed the Basculegion, and the rest remains a special defense. For the Frostlass, it is designed to be able to survive Kowtow Cleave from King Gambit that isn't Black Glasses, and then Sucker Punch from those Black Glasses variants. And of course we have Aurora Veil to bulk out the team. And also this Scovillain is pretty interesting. It's actually running the Giga Drain set on the Scovillain. And the reason you have Giga Drain is because you don't really hit the water types really well, especially like the Blastoise and the Milotic. So it can be helpful to actually have damage into those Pokemon especially. And then finally, of course, the star of the show, the Lycanroc. So why Lycanroc? As I said before, really specifically into that Charizard. And a lot of this combination that has like the Frostlass plus the Sneasler, Kingambit, Basculegion, it's not really great into Charizard Y. Granted, if you do get a Source up with Kingambit and then Threaten Priority with Sucker Punch, Aqua Jet, it is. But otherwise, it's kind of annoying to deal with Charizard because the Heat Waves and the Solar Beams are really hard to switch into. So you want a way to always be able to pressure Charizard, especially if they have that Tailwind advantage. So, I mean, Lycanroc is a Pokemon that naturally outspeeds Charizard, does threaten the Accelerock KO if they are faster, like if they're timid or if they are going to be the under Tailwind. So just having access to Accelerock is pretty nice. And then Close Combat is able to threaten other Kingambits, which is obviously really nice, able to threaten Archaladon, having multiple fighting coverages is really solid. We're going with Adamant Max Attack, and that's just because the damage output, of course, on the Lycanroc, even though you outspeed the Modest Arts and not the Timid Arts, Timid Arts are a little bit less common, I'd say, in the format compared to Modest Arts. So that is the idea behind Lycanroc, just to be able to patch up those matchups into Charizard against Kingambit and a few other Pokemon that are weak to fighting. So that is how the team synergizes with each other. And now let's talk about the game plan. So we do have access to a lot of things. Of course, Kingambit with Swords Dance is something you do want to set up immediately. You have multiple ways to be able to set it up, whether it's through the Aurora Veil, Frostlass, the Rage Powder on the Scovillain, and of course the Fake Out support on the Sneasler. You're mainly using Lycanroc to scare away the Charizards, always be able to threaten them, especially with the Rock Slide and Accelerock, while having Close Combat is useful against opposing Kingambit, which is very appreciated. Then, of course, you have other offensive combinations you can go for. Sneasler, Frostlass is pretty good, especially with a bulky Sneasler. Fake Out with Aurora Veil setup, or just like Ice Ghost plus the Fighting Poison coverage is really good into a majority of the format, so that's always a powerful thing. Scovillain plus Basculegion is also a lead you can go for with a really strong Overheat, Wave Crash immediately, which is very powerful. Lycanroc will probably either lead just to get damage off or to scare away the Charizards, so maybe you set up a Swords Dance with Kingambit, or it will be kept in the back in order to always threaten that Charizard because it will always be having the option for that priority Accelerock. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the recreation, you can try it out with the replica code on your screen. Otherwise, I will link the players down below in the description that I can find down below. Otherwise, let's get started and play some games with Lycanroc and see if it is worth it. All right, we're gonna see Stormy Rain with Serena Pelipper, Archaladon, Sneasler, and the Mousehold. That doesn't seem like a fun first game for Lycanroc, I'll tell you that much. Really doesn't seem like a fun first game. I'm gonna bring Frostlass or I'm gonna bring Scovillain, because realistically, both actually kind of work. I think I definitely want to bring Kingambit. I honestly am leaning towards Scovillain a bit more. Well, if I had Leech Seed, they would be really nice here. But I like the redirection, that's the thing. The redirection's really nice. Man, this is kind of a weird one here. Because I like Gambit and Scovillain a lot. I think I'm just going to lead Gambit Scovillain. I really wish I had Leech Seed now. Leech Seed would be helpful here, but I think it's probably okay. My only problem is if I bring Frostlass, I'm a little bit worried about random Rain Dance on like the Mousehold or something. And I also really like the redirection in general that Scovillain provides. The burns can be nice, but we'll see. Like, Frostlass was decent and everything, but I do think that protecting my Kingambit is also pretty good, because if I set up Swords Dance with Kingambit, it's a little bit tough for my opponent. Archaladon Mousehold. Yeah, I think this is Rain Dance Mousehold, so, like, it's not terrible, lead-wise. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Okay. I think I could just set up a Swords Dance immediately and just Mega Evolve. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a Swords Dance and Mega Evolve, just go for Rage Powder. Did I Rage Powder or did I just Giga Drain? Well, Super Fang doesn't really matter. They could have Aura Spear on the Arch, I suppose. It could be Sash Mousehold. Maybe it's better just to Giga Drain. Because it's not like I need Gambit healthy in this situation. You know what? I'm just going to Giga Drain and Swords Dance. I think this is fine. Because +1 Electro Shot won't KO the Gambit. As long as they don't Aura Spear, I'm fine. This is Rain Dance? No, Taunt. Okay, that makes sense. So actually, Giga Drain is the best option that I did have here, I suppose. Yeah, because they Dragon Pulse as well. Okay. So the Arch is burned, and I get a Giga Drain off into the Mouse Hold, which means I get Recovery, which is actually nice. Because they're in Overheat range, so I can Overheat Kowtow if I want to. And I do like that, actually. So I think this is actually a pretty good position. I wonder if the Mouse is Protect. Because I want to say it's Rain Dance if you let it like this, but I'm not 100% certain. Alright. I don't think it's Encore, though, so I'm going to Kowtow and I'm going to Overheat the Mouse Hold. If they have Encore, we're going to have a very strange spot, but let's see. They could go Pelipper, I suppose. If they go Pelipper, that's fine, because I still get a +2 Kowtow into the Arch. They Protect, which makes sense, so they get access to the Friend Guard still for the Arch, as they go for Dragon Pulse into my Scovillain. So they really want Scovillain gone, I guess, for the Starmie. But this is fine. Like, I still get a big Kowtow off into the Archaludon, so this is massive damage. Yeah, that's good damage. I wonder if they, I feel like if you have Starmie back, you can't bring Serena, right? Because you need Pelipper, I assume. I definitely want to keep Scovillain around. I'm going to sack the Sash on my Lycanroc, because I don't need my Sash on Lycanroc. Lycanroc was mainly for, like, the Arch backup plan. So I think I'm just going to go for Kowtow as they go for probably Follow Me, KO the Scovillain, I assume. Because they're, like, really committed on KOing the Scovillain at this point, so that's fine by me. I want to keep Sneasler healthy, because having a Fake Out Pressure is still really nice. So let's see. Bring out the Lycanroc. They go for Super Fang. Okay. But they can't KO here. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I do get a Kowtow off into the Arch. Arch goes down. Not bad. So I get rid of the Arch. They're going to Starmie, I guess? There's no way you don't target my King Gambit, right? I feel like I'm just gonna go Scovillain. Because they don't think I'm gonna switch out the +2 Gambit. I don't know, I feel like I just go for a close combat into the Mouse Hold. And I swap out the Gambit into my Scovillain to get the burn. Let's see if this works. I don't think you're turning down the Lycanroc, because I don't think Lycanroc's a threat to Starmie, but we'll see. Because I think you want to get the access to Follow Me. I don't think Sucker Punch is likely for me to come out. I guess you could Protect here and make an aggressive read. But yeah, you're going to click Follow Me and probably, I assume, Wave Crash into the Scovillain slot. Yep, or Liquidation, that works too. Okay, beautiful. I catch them, so I get a burn off into the Starmie. And now, what's their last Mon, man? Did they really not bring Sneasler into this kind of team? It's Choppleberry, but that's fine. Yeah, because I still KO'd the Mouse Hold with Tough Claws, Close Combat, so that's really nice. Okay, Mouse Hold gone. And even if they survived, I could have went for Accelerock Sucker Punch. So I guess the question is it Serena as the last Pokemon? If it's Serena as the last Pokemon, this game gets interesting. I'm going to go out in a Gambit first. Because I want to scout for the last Pokemon. Sneasler is going to be a bit of a problem, though, as if it's the last. But you want to assume the Sneasler would have came out earlier, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's Pelipper back. Okay, cool. Actually, this is not cool because there's still a lot of things that could go wrong here. Because obviously there's Sucker Punch, Aqua Jet, Mind Games that the Starmie has. I should scout for Aqua Jet, right? But then they could Tailwind. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna switch out Lycanroc, go Sneasler. I don't think they're targeting the Lycanroc slot. If they attack, they're gonna target down the King Gambit. I could see Protect from Starmie, Water Ball. I could see Tailwind Protect. There's like quite a few plays. Let's see. We will Protect Gambit. They attacked with the Starmie. What did they go for? Yeah, they went for Jet, so they have Jet. Okay, good. And then this is Water Ball on the King Gambit. Perfect. Do I think Liquidation KOs the Gambit at this range? It's Rain huge power, but it is Burn Starmie. It's calls on calls on calls, man. I think I'm gonna kowtow fake out. Let's see if they protect first with the Starmie or not, I suppose. I don't think so. Yeah, they didn't. Okay, did they Jet or did they Liquidation? They Liquidation. I think I survived. Let's see. Yeah. King Gambit's just too beastly with its defenses, so I had a feeling I would live one Liquidation, so I was willing to risk it there. Kowtow KOs the Starmie, beautiful, and that is game, because now I can just focus down to Pelipper. If it's Muddy Water, I should Sucker Punch into Dire Claw, I suppose. Yeah, I should Sucker Punch into Dire Claw. So let's Sucker Punch into Dire Claw in case it's Muddy Water. Because if it is like Scarf Muddy Water, I think Sucker Punch Accelerock should get it. But I think it looks bulky based on the fake out damage. Yeah, it's bulky since it has Citrus. But the Dire Claw puts it in range of Accelerock, so I guarantee win the game. Even if they have Muddy Water and they crit my Sneasler, no crit. But Hurricane into the Sneasler will take the knockout, but now I just win with Lycanroc Accelerock will take the knockout. So nice. Ooh, okay. Dangerous. Very surprised they didn't bring Serena for priority blocking. Also surprised to see no Sneasler. Like, Arch, I kind of understand, but I don't know. I was just surprised to see Mouse. Like, if you're not going to bring Serena, I feel like, I guess, like, if you brought Mouse, you have redirection, so it's like you could still play around priority, but I don't think they were able to accomplish much with the Arch lead. So now I Sucker Punch Accelerock, and Lycanroc takes the KO guaranteed. Because there's not anything they can do here. Accelerock definitely KOs the Lycanroc at this range. So goodbye Pelipper, and that is the game. Alright. Nice. Was able to get a good amount of work, I think, with the King Gambit. Wasn't expecting Taunt from the Mousehold, but ended up working. And then kind of was able to get some good calls, like catching the burn on the Starmie was huge. Alright, we have Charizard, Venusaur, Politoed, Archaludon, Sinistcha, and Incineroar. So we have dual weather, which is interesting. I wonder if it's dual mega too. Charizard definitely gonna be mega. Venusaur, maybe, maybe not. I could see it both ways. If that's the case, I don't really want to bring the Frostlass. I do want to bring the Lycanroc. They are going to go with the Rain mode most likely though. I think they are always going to bring the Rain mode. I just got to break through Arch quickly, and if I break through Arch quickly, it's a really good spot. I think Bask is not good here. It's good into Incin, not really good in anything else. I guess Politoed theoretically, but I'd rather just bring Sneasler, Scovillain, King Gambit, plus Lycanroc. The question is which order I suppose do I want to bring them in. I think it's just Scovillain plus King Gambit. Yeah, Scovillain, King Gambit sounds fine. I could also lead Sneasler, Scovillain, which is also not bad. But I think King Gambit's out of the Source Dance is pretty reasonable. If they try to do an Arch plan, they could go Charizard mode, but I just really don't see it. I really don't see the Charizard mode with the Lycanroc, but granted, they might not be playing with a Mega Evolution, so maybe they do bring it. Maybe they try to get maybe they don't expect me to bring Lycanroc against Rain. A few mind games, but Charizard or Charizard, not what I expected. Okay. Not what I expected at all. Okay. If I get rid of Arch, it's the biggest threat to my team. I think I'm just going to overheat the Arch slot. I think I'm willing to risk Lycanroc. I don't think they're going to double the Gambit. They're going to double the Scovillain if they double the Scovillain, I think. Oh, I wish I was Calm Skull Villain now, but we'll see. Maybe I could have protected here. Oh, it's X. Huh. I was not expecting X, so that's why it was more likely they brought it. Okay. What move is... This is still okay, though, I guess? Because I get a big overheat off into the arch. Alright. Where are they going for? Dragon Dance? No, Flare Blitz immediately into the Gambit slot. Okay. That still almost KO'd Lycanroc. Alright. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was surprised. Okay, it's a crit. That makes sense. They Dragon Pulse the Scovillain. That's cool. Are you breaking Swipe Charizard, I guess is the question. Also, it's interesting to see Flare Blitz because I feel like a lot of players have been running Temper Flare because the recoil is kind of massive. So I wonder if this is even Dragon Dance Charizard. But we do get a big overheat off into the arch. Okay, not bad. Okay, leftovers. I wonder if Close Combat knocks out the arch in this position. I could Rock Slide, but Rock Slide doesn't knock out the Charizard, and then I probably could be staring down a 2v4. Or a 2v3. Because it'd probably go down to Flare Blitz recoil after. These are the main biggest threats to Gambit, but of course there could be stuff like... I think my best place is save Scovillain for sure. The question is, am I Close Combat or am I Rock Sliding? I do need damage in the Charizard. The Charizard Protect could be super obvious though. I think I Close Combat the Arch. Okay, they do retreat the Charizard. Is this instant? Sinistra, that makes sense as well. Okay. I don't mind this because I get a Close Combat off an Arch, and that's a pretty good damage. If they Protect, still not amazing, but like it's playable, I suppose. Okay, here's a big Close Combat. Yeah, I actually almost would have knocked out the... I would have definitely knocked out the Arch before, so... Pretty strong hit. They're probably targeted Scovillain. Oh, they had a way to target both. Snarl. Alright. So Lycanroc going down here. That was an unfortunate crit from the Charizard, because that actually matters. I don't think Snarl was KOing at -1 without the Flare Blitz burn, but it is what it is. That's actually so risky, though. I could have went King Gambit. But I can go King Gambit now, I suppose. King Gambit is pretty safe. I just gotta watch out because Politoed Perish endgame is definitely something. But I guess like they can't perish because Gambit is slower than Politoed. So I think my play here is just to go into Sneasler and Swords Dance. Or is it just to overheat the Arch and Swords Dance? It might be just to overheat the Arch and Swords Dance. I don't mind that, yeah. They stay in. No Rage Powder. Okay. I don't think Matcha Gotcha is getting me at all, so that's fine. Oh, that's a bad miss. That's a really bad miss. Okay. They life, dude. That's not terrible, I suppose. I mean, this could have been way better, of course, but I'll take... Well, actually... yeah, that's a really bad miss for the overheat. I guess this is still playable, but yeah, that's definitely makes this game a lot tougher. I guess I go Sneasler and I go for Kowtow into the Sinistra slot. All right. Hasn't been super helpful. I want Sneasler in for the immediate pressure, and I might as well just keep the sack in case I need it. Sinistra protects, that's fine. That's better than if they life dude. Oh, they Electroshot here, okay. So I guess they're trying to get damage on the Chars on the Gambit. Do I fake out? Is it worth? Do I tend to Close Combat as they go for an easy Rage Powder here? But the thing is... Because here's the thing. If I fake out and give it the defense boost, it might live my Close Combat the following turn, which is what I'm scared of. And they could switch out Sinistra to get the Hospitality later. So that's what I'm actually really scared about. But I don't think I can let Gambit take any damage, unfortunately, in this position. Yeah, I fell really behind, unfortunately, with the miss. and the crit, but we'll fake out. Okay, we get the call right, it looks like. I do get a fake out. They are going to get a life due, unfortunately, but there's not much I can do. Or they Rage Powder. Actually, that works out better for me because I might actually... I don't know if I knock out the Arch. We'll find out. Here comes a Kowtow Cleave into Sinistra. Sinistra goes down. There's a Charizard on the back, and then last mon, Politoed, I assume? Could be Instant, but I think it's probably Politoed. I could Sucker Punch Close Combat. There are a few plays I can go for. I guess the question is, do I think Close Combat knocks out? Oh, Charizard comes in. Do they have Wisp? I'm clicking Close Combat into the Arch, and I'm clicking Sucker Punch. If they're Flare Blitz, I really don't think they're Wisp. If they're Dragonets, that's fine. I can still threaten Close Combat plus Sucker. They could be trying to go Politoed here, but the Arch needs to live Close Combat. It depends on the Arch spread. Okay, they protect Charizard. That's good for me. Close Combat is going to do a lot to this Archaludon. Does a KO, though. Yeah, it didn't KO. All right. What did Arch go for? Dragon Pulse? I mean, it's only +1 Dragon Pulse, so it doesn't KO Sneasler. Yeah. That's fine. They might be using this opportunity to go Politoed for the Charizard this turn. Because I could see them trying to lock me into Sucker Punch with Encore. Should I Kowtow this turn? I definitely hit Close Combat to Arch here. The question is, what am I doing with Gambit? Am I clicking Kowtow or am I clicking Sucker? Obviously, there's a risk with Flare Blitz. I don't know if my opponent would really let me get a double knockout here. So it's a call. I'm going to Kowtow. Expecting Politoed, but we'll see. They attacked. Or they did some support move here. Oh, okay. Okay. I was about to say, there's no way they Flare Blitz. I was like, no way. Kowtow into the Charizard. Charizard goes down. Beautiful. All right. So what's the final mon? Politoed? They're going to forfeit. Okay. Ooh. Like, I thought they were going to go Politoed and Encore lock me in a Sucker Punch, make me waste all my Sucker Punches, and then try to attack with Charizard. Alright, we have Vivian, Mousehold with the Delphox, Incineroar, Sinistra, and Floette. Okay. This is one heck of a one. Do I want to lead? The problem is, do they go Floette or do they go Delphox? Because that's a big question. I think lead-wise, Sneasler, Lycanroc, is it terrible here? It's either Sneasler, Scovillain, or Sneasler, Lycanroc. I think I like Sneasler, Scovillain here. I think it's pretty good. Because I can threaten the Overheat into the Sinistra, the Close Combat and the Instant, and the Dire Claw into the Floette. So I think that's probably pretty reasonable. I think it's Lycanroc and Bask back, because I like having priority against this team. I don't really need the King Gambit. King Gambit's not really necessary against this. Although Sucker Punch is nice, obviously, but there's like multiple redirectors, so I don't think it's ever worth it. And then I think Frostlass isn't that great of a mega choice here. It doesn't really hit the special attackers hard. Okay, they let Delphox Instant, so this works out for me. Again, Sneasler, Scovillain. Well, I mean, it's not like a great lead, but this is probably pretty reasonable here. They're gonna fake out my Sneasler, I think. I mean, my best play here is just to fake out the Delphox and probably Heart Swap into... They have a few plays. They can protect, they could swap. There's a lot of plays that they can make here. I think I want to go Lycanroc immediately. I don't think they ever target Scovillain. Maybe Parting Shot at worst, but like I don't think they should attack that slot. I think they target the Sneasler slot. Yeah, they switch out. Is this Sinistra? Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's why I went for the hard into my Lycanroc, because I can threaten Rock Slide pressure immediately. against the redirection. So that's decent here. So the question is, do I want a Dire Claw Rock Slide? Because if I catch a Delphox, I just win. I could go to Baskier and Rock Slide. I could go to Scovillain too, because they might switch out Delphox into Incin. There's a lot of plays I could make. I think Scovillain's a pretty reasonable switch here. And probably just fire off a Rock Slide, because I have a flinch chance on Sinisha, worst case. And as long as I keep a Cell Rock around, it's not too bad. Yeah, they do make the Incin match a good play. Good play on their part. They have like a few different plays. It's just like always aggressively targeting about like, okay, how are they going to reposition? Rock Slide going to come out. I get some decent damage to Incin, which is pretty good for Scovillain. Matcha Gotcha. Ooh. Oh, that's not the one. That's not the one. Granted, I'm not in fake out range, which is nice. Nice. No burn. Speed boost. Attack fall. I mean, we'll take it. That's actually the best case, probably. Because I can throw off an overheat in a Sinistra. And the question is, what am I doing with Lycanroc? Am I staying in? I could go for a close combat. I think close combat's pretty reasonable. Tough Claws boost to close combat probably does more than the same type of attack bonus. Rock Slide. Was it Chopper Berry on the Incin? I don't think it was. I think it's worth going for, because Fake Out doesn't knock out Lycanroc, and they probably Fake Out Scovillain anyway. If I get rid of the Intimidate Mon, that's pretty big, because Bask can come in, and Bask is huge against this team. Yeah, they Fake Out the Scovillain. That makes sense. Let's see if close combat KOs the Incin. I imagine it does. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I get rid of Incin. That's one of their ways to hit my Bask, which is huge. Because now I threaten Overheat and Wave Crash with Bask. I go for Matcha Gotcha. That's fine. So Lycanroc goes down, but granted, it's +2 speeds on the Scovillain. Gonna matter for... I mean, it doesn't really matter because my Scovillain's EV to outspeed the Bask. But I can go for Overheat Wave Crash and get that scenario here. So I can go out in a Basky Legion, I can click Overheat and Wave Crash. They don't have a really big counterplay here. Yeah, this is nice. Or I could go for Last Respect, that also works. Yes, I'm gonna Overheat the Sinistra, and I'm gonna go for a Last Respect into the Delphox. No, I actually Wave Crash because if they go Mouse Hold and attack, I think the extra damage might matter. They switch out to Sinistra, which makes sense, into Mouse Hold. Okay, did they protect or did they do something else? Okay, they protect. So I could have doubled up the Sinistra slot, but I actually think it's, or double up the Mouse slot, but I still think this is pretty decent for me because Overheat's still threatening a lot here. Yeah, like another Overheat will KO the Mouse Hold, and if they switch in Sinistra, they take too much. They could switch in Sinistra for the... I mean, if you switch in Sinistra to get the Mouse Hold recovered, sure. But it's like, you're still taking a lot of damage regardless. I think I'm just going to Overheat the Mouse Hold, and I'm going to try to Last Respect the Sinistra coming in. Yeah. Because I get to break the Cassie Berry, which is nice. And like the Mouse Hold is still technically... like not in the best spot still, so I think this is fine. I do get an Overheat off. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna Super Fang here? Yeah, like they Super Fang, but the thing is, this is still pretty good for me because Last Respect is still a problem for them to handle. So I still really like this spot regardless, because now that Last Respect will activate the Cassie Berry, and then the next one should KO. Yeah. And now they don't have a switch. And with the burn on the Mouse Hold, they should be in Giga Drain range. Should be. I don't think I have to risk my miss here. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Last Respect, and I'm going to go for Giga Drain. They could switch out Mouse Hold But yeah, they're going to follow me here. I think they're just hoping for the miss at this point. I assume Giga Drain KOs, even at -4 at 11. Yeah, I didn't think the mouse hold was living. So I get a last respect off in the Sinister, and then I guarantee win the game. So nice. Okay, mouse hold goes down. I am able to KO the Sinister, which is beautiful, and that will be a good game. So, because like Delphox cannot KO my Basket Legion, all I have to do is just spam Rage Powder, last respect, and I win. Because last respect will KO, and even if it doesn't KO for some random reason, Aqua Jet range is definitely the thing. So nice. Was able to get rid of the Instant and then kind of figure out how to like make sure Delphox was always pressured. All right, we have Tyranitar, Excadrill, Corviknight, Rotom Wash, Sneasler, and Dragapult. Okay, interesting team. I'm definitely bringing the Scovillain. I'm not allowed to sack the Scovillain though, because I lose to bulk up Corviknight if that's the case. So the question is, am I leading the Scovillain immediately? I also have a lot of trouble against this team. I mean, I do have Basket Legion, which is good, but this is not going to be an easy team to handle, I'll say that much. I don't really like Sneasler in this matchup, even though it's good. Well, Sneasler's okay, kind of depends. It's good in Tyranitar. Excadrill, it's iffy on. Everything else is just kind of a strange one. I want to bring Lycanroc because it has access to like Close Combat and Excel Rock, which are both actually very valuable against my opponent's team. Am I leading just King Gambit plus Basque? King Gambit Basque isn't a terrible lead here. I think I lead King Gambit Basque. Lycanroc is fine, and then Scovillain. I can't risk Scovillain early because if I lose Scovillain, I just lose to Corviknight. So I got to be very extra careful about that. I like Basque plus King Gambit because I can threaten Aqua Jet Sucker Punch, and I don't know if they'll lead T-Tar. But just in case they lead Sand immediately, or if they lead Caesar Corviknight, this is a good lead for me, so I'll take this. King Gambit, Basket Legion. I do not mind this lead. The question is, does Sneasler protect? The Gambit protect is obvious. I don't know if the Sneasler protects or not. I could go for a Saurus Dance if I really am that crazy. I guess I technically don't need King Gambit to win. You know what? We're gonna go for a Saurus Dance, Wave Crash. I expect Protector Swap, but let's see. Coaching. Okay, this works too. I get a free Saurus Dance off of Gambit, and I get a Wave Crash into Sneasler, so I'll take it. They get a Tailwind up, but I get a Wave Crash plus a Saurus Dance up. Pretty solid. Because even if they went for close combat, I do think the Protect was super obvious. So I do think the coaching made a lot of sense. We do KO the Sneasler immediately, so that's the Gambit answer gone. Unless they brought T-Tar, but if they got T-Tar, that makes sense as well. We get Saurus Dance up with the Gambit. I'm curious if the Corviknight has bulk up itself. If it has Body Press, this is still tricky, but granted, this is definitely better than what it could have been. Tyranitar in, I assume this is just for knockoff into Basque. I don't really need Basque in the end game. Man, I would like to get a double switch here, but it's still kind of awkward even if I do get the double switch here. I think they should knock on my Basque, but what did they think if they could Brave Bird the Basque? You know what? I'm gonna double protect. Just double protect is safe. Stall out a Tailwind turn and scout for like what they're clicking here. Tyranitar gonna Mega Evolve, so Tyranitar is a Mega Evolution, not Excadrill. That makes sense. Are they going for low kick or are they going for knockoff? Do they have bulk up on the Corviknight too? Because that's actually a good question. So we will protect our Basket Legion. And Gambits to scout and burn the Tailwind turn. Do they have bulk up? No, they have Body Press. Okay, good to know that. And knock off into Basque. I think Mega Tyranitar goes down to tough close combat. Yeah, it definitely should. So I think I should just target down to Corviknight. But they can roost, so is that even that big of a deal realistically? I think I should still. Sucker Punch, Aqua Jet. Actually, I'm going to target the T-Tart just in case. Because it's not like the extra damage, I think, into the Corv is that important this turn, I think. Okay, here's the Sucker Punch. Good damage. Say body press. Gambit goes down. Okay. We're going to go down to a 2v3 situation. Which is not great, but, like, it's playable. I think it really just depends on how fast this Corv is. I have speed on the Scovillain, but if the Corv is really fast, we just lose. I want to say it has a good amount of defense investment though, because body press at +1, even though it's 4 times into Gambit, like isn't the strongest attack initially. We'll go for double protect with Moody, I think. I think it's worth the risk here. Let's see. Because we stall out this Tailwind turn, then we can close combat overheat. I think they roost here. I don't know what they're doing with Tyranitar. Probably Rock Slide. This could come down to a Moody boost, but we'll see. Lycanroc, if we get speed drop though, we just get screwed. So maybe it was worth just attacking, but if they're faster, the thing is we just have no idea the information on the set. Brave Bird. We could also get defense boost too, so we could get speed or defense, which would be massive. Tailwind peters out. Special defense. We got the one we didn't want. Well, granted, if they Brave Bird, they take a bunch of recoil and get burned, so maybe Lycanroc could win this game. But getting this speed drop is not great. Okay, they switch out Tyranitar into Exca. That's fine by me. I think it's just gonna come down to how much I'm doing here to the Corv. I think it's Citrus Corv though. We do get a close combat off an Excadrill. Should bring it to Sash. He had Sash. That's not surprising. Oh wait, they Tailwinded. What? Oh, that's really good. I'm surprised they didn't Brave Bird, but you know what? We'll take that. We get rid of the Corv, and now Lycanroc's actually in a good spot to win. Okay, very interesting turn. Actually, no, I think I should have this locked. It's the last turn of Sand coming up in this future parts. I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good. Last turn of Sand, 3 turns of Tailwind. Unless the Tyranitar has a way to set up, but I think I double protect this turn. I scout for the Excadrill protect. I mean, it can be close, I guess, potentially. It didn't protect. I could have Excel Rocked if I, or Rage Powder protect. That was also play. I was debating about Rock Slide, okay. I guess the question is, do I read Excadrill to protect? I feel like I always just Giga Drain the T-Tar and click Excel Rock into the Excadrill. I mean, they don't have the Sand special defense boost anymore. I mean, this might be an okay position, even if they protect Exca, because they're going to get burned with Tyranitar now if they click Rock Slide. So I think this is okay. Because I guarantee KO to Excadrill with Excel Rock here if they don't protect it. If they protect, I can stall out the Tailwind, so then I outspeed with Lycanroc for the rest of the game. Should we protect Exca? Oh, they don't protect Exca. Okay, I win the game guaranteed then. Because then Lycanroc cannot get KO'd here. I just protect on the last turn and I click close combat. Unless they're Dragon is Tyranitar, I suppose. I click Rock Slide, Scovillain dodges. Honestly, I would have liked it to hit Scovillain more than Lycanroc, but sure. Now I might be in danger of actually, am I in danger of losing to Dragon Dance? No, right? No, I just protect Giga Drain. Yeah, I click Protect Giga Drain. I think. I mean, I protect here and I Giga Drain. Oh, I don't think Excel Rock does 22% though. Oh, please don't be Dragon Dance. I don't think it should be. I really don't think it should be. I think it's probably just like low kick or something, but we'll find out. Okay, they just click Rock Slide. It's not. Okay. Because the burn damage actually did matter on the Tyranitar as well, because that would have actually been a pretty impactful statement here. But yeah, we get the Spicy Spray off into the Tyranitar. And the Giga Drain. Oh, I mean, just click the Tyranitar. I mean, granted, the game was over. I just clicked Rage Powder and or not Rage Powder. I just clicked Close Combat Giga Drain. Either way, I would still win. The only way I was losing that position is Dragon Dance because they could actually get the Speed Boost out with my Lycanroc. Because they didn't have the Speed Boost, Lycanroc outspeeds the Tyranitar guaranteed after Tailwind peters out this turn, and I would have Close Combat for the win. So, we'll take it. All right, we have Gengar, Sylveon, Talonflame, Politoed, Blastoise, and Archaladon. Now, this used to be a very popular team back into Season 1 of Ranked Ladder with Trick Room, Gengar, Mega Blastoise. But did they change the team? That's going to be a big question. That's going to be an absolutely massive big question. All right, what am I doing here lead-wise? I think Lycanroc's actually a good lead because the Rock Slide pressure is actually pretty good here. Am I leading? Just trying to think. I think Sneasler is obviously good offensively, but it's not really good defensively, especially if Trick Room does go up. We're in a huge amount of trouble. I think Lycanroc isn't bad with Basculegion lead. Because Basculegion can't get affected by Fake Out, and I can threaten the Gengar with like Wave Crash and Aqua Jet. Or maybe I just lead Scovillain. It's just weird because Blastoise is not exactly a fun matchup here, especially under Trick Room or Tailwind. I think King Gambit Scovillain's probably fine. I could lead Scovillain, but the problem is Gengar has Sludge Bomb. And the thing is, we don't know if this is the exact carbon copy of the team or if this is a change version. If this is a change version and they have like speed and I lose my Scovillain to Sludge Bomb because I'm not especially defensive, I'm in big trouble. So I don't think it's ever worth the risk. Gengar, Blastoise versus Lycanroc and Basculegion. My Basque is pretty dang bulky. I live an attack from the Blastoise. I think we just go for a Rock Slide immediately and we go for... Actually, no, we don't. We go for a Protect and a Last Respect into the Gengar. They're going to Mega Evolve. I assume this is Fake Out into Lycanroc to prevent a flinch here, but let's find out. So we protect our Lycanroc. Yeah, okay. Super ideal. And we get a Last Respect off into Gengar, which will bring it to Sash. Yep, are you going to be Trick Room? It probably is, assuming that the Basculegion moved first. And I have no speed, so this should always be Trick Room. Yeah, it's Trick Room. Okay, good to know. Good to confirm it. So I can go for Jet into Gengar and get rid of it. Or do I prefer Last... No, I think yeah. I target the Gengar slot. I guess I could Wave Crash as well because the Gengar cannot be slower than my Basculegion. I don't even know if the Blastoise... Well, it depends on how slow the Blastoise is, I suppose, too. I do need damage in a Blastoise, so we probably just go for a Rock Slide here. Actually, I don't want to get affected by Dark Pulse Flinch, so I'm just going to Jet. They should Water Spout, but yeah, they switch out Gengar. I should have Wave Crashed then. Okay, it's Archaladon. Good switch if it's Stamina and they changed the team. It's Scarf on the original version. That did take it not great, but it's Stamina. Okay, they changed the team. Water Spout. Good play on their part, though. All right. So we're gonna have to deal with a boosted Archalon, which granted, our team does not hit well. So unfortunately, I was not expecting the stamina arch. Please miss arch. Okay, that's fine. That's actually good. That I'll take. That I will take. Is this Archalon is a monster right now. Are they gonna go Politoed? I could see Politoed Electro Shot. Water Spout Dragon Pulse also makes sense to me as well. Yeah, this is why I was debating about going for Last Respect. I was too worried about a Dark Pulse flinch immediately, but granted, I think I should have just went for it. We double protect here, I guess, to scout for what they're gonna bring in. This Archalon is gonna be such a nightmare because I didn't like the only mon I have is like Scovillain, but it doesn't really beat the Politoed in back. It should be Politoed as last mon. So let's see what they click here move wise. It's gonna be Dark Pulse into the Basque and Dragon Pulse. Flash Cannon, okay. Lycanroc has some value because it can go for close combat into the arch. But I think my best line is to make the get the Blastoise weakened with an Accelerock, because they might. I think they switch up attacks now, but let's see. I'm a bit worried if they go into Politoed and click Electro Shot now, but we'll find out if that's the case. I'm gonna hard swap the Basque to preserve it, go into Gambit on the Dark Pulse if they decide to make the same move. And get the damage. This also covers like Water Spout, Dragon Pulse, because I weakened the power of Water Spout at least. So Accelerock. Oh, that's a nice crit. Especially if they went for the Water Spout play. Okay, they went for the Dark Pulse play. That works out really well for me. Okay. Very nice. And Flash Cannon into the Lycanroc. Now I have an okay spot. I think here Leech Seed might have been better, but let's see. We go on a Scovillain. Last turn, Trick Room. Kowtow knocks out the Blastoise. Do we just Rage Powder? Or do we Overheat? I don't know if they ever go Politoed. I think I just get the Overheat damage off and I Kowtow the... I think I Overheat Kowtow. I think it's more likely they stay in. Maybe they sack Gengar instead, but okay, they do stay in. So this actually works out because I get good damage into the Arch. Please don't be Aura Spear, actually. Aura Spear could screw me over. Okay, I get the Kowtow Cleave off into the Blastoise, so Blastoise goes down. I should be getting a nice Overheat off into Arch, and then the question is how the rest is going to play out. Because this is good damage into the Arch. Oh, really good damage, okay. So I can actually break through the Arch now. What's the move here? Why did they Electro Shot? Okay. This could be a mind game the upcoming turn. I feel like they didn't bring Politoed if you didn't go Politoed the first time, but that's still a strange play. Trigger returns to normal. There should be Gengar coming in. And then we're going to have to play a bit of an interesting game. Oh, wait, they brought in Politoed immediately. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can Overheat plus Sucker Punch. And I'm pretty sure that will get to the Arch, so I'm going to go for it. If I get rid of Arch, it looks really, really good for my Basque. So I'm going to go for it. Sucker Punch into the Arch. Stamina increase. Electro Shot into the Scovillain slot. Interesting. Okay. Do I hit the Overheat, though? Okay, I do. That KOs. Whew. Surprised it wasn't a Gambit slot, but you know what? We'll take it. Goodbye, Arch. Yeah, I'm like surprised they didn't go Politoed earlier for the Blastoise, but okay. They go for Muddy Water. I should live with At least King Gambit. Scovillain survives, which is great as well, actually. We get the Spicy Spray off. And now we click Giga Drain into the... We click Giga Drain into the Gengar, and we click Protect with my Gambit. Yeah. Even if they KO Scovillain, they go down to the burn that happens. If they try to Trick Room, my Scovillain moves before Politoed and Gengar. Giga Drain KOs the Gengar, and I'm set with Basculegion back. Yeah, they tried to Trick Room again, I'm pretty sure. So Gengar goes down, and now Basculegion should beat the Politoed. Because I can Sucker Punch Last Respect, and I should be fine here. Or I Kowtow. Do I Kowtow Last Respect? Maybe. Because they could perish, theoretically. If they have Perish. Because we already know they changed the Archaludon, because the original team had Scarf. Basculegion, though, is still in a really phenomenal spot. I'm going to click... Actually, no. I should Sucker. Because if they go for Perish... They have to KO Gambit first because Gambit is slower than the Politoed. So if they go for Perish, they need a turn to KO the Gambit. So I think I Sucker Punch because it avoids Muddy Water Act Drop as a loose con. Well, if they Perish, that's fine. And they attack here. So Sucker Punch into the Politoed. It is Citrus Berry, but the Last Respect will KO the Politoed. So Politoed will go down there. If they Perish, that means that I just get 2 Last Respects. Out the Politoed cannot live that. Cannot live the 2 Last Respects, so I KO it regardless. So I think Sucker Punch plus Last Respect is always correct. While if I Kowtow and they Muddy Water Act Drop my Basque, it could get annoying. Alright, we have Eternal Floette, Scizor, Incineroar, Sinistra, Charizard, and Garchomp. Alright, I could see... Is this Charizard Y or Charizard X? It's probably Charizard Y. Even though Incineroar Sinistra is a thing, you don't really pair Garchomp with Charizard X usually, I'd assume. There's 3 potential Megas, but I mean, I guess Scizor could hold the Mega. There's not really that many items you really want on Scizor. Definitely going to be a tough game, though. I think Scovillain should always be brought. The question is, am I bringing Frostlass? Because it is actually kind of annoying that Garchomp. The Garchomp is actually kind of problematic here. I think it's Scovillain plus the Lycanroc. I think Scovillain Lycanroc makes a ton of sense because if they lead Charizard, which is probably the biggest threat to Scovillain, then I should be good. If they lead Garchomp, though, it's a little bit annoying, but granted, I just don't think I bring Frostlass. Like, I don't think I ever really bring Frostlass. I think it's just Sneasler King Gambit. Because Sneasler is good for the Floette, and then King Gambit. If I can find a position to set up King Gambit, it goes crazy with Sucker Punch and Kowtow, I'm pretty sure. Like, Basque is okay, but it's not really needed, I think. I think it'd be better if I tried to do a Frostlass game plan with Auroraville in this matchup, but without it, I don't think it's really that great here. But let's see. I'm going to see Garchomp Scizor lead. Interesting lead. Okay. I mean, there's 4 potential Megas with Garchomp, but I don't think we're going to see the Mega on the Garchomp. So, this is not the greatest lead for Lycanroc. It's a fine lead for Scovillain, though. There's no... I think I just Giga Drain. I Mega Evolve, Giga Drain the Garchomp, and probably just Protect. Yeah. Just need damage into the Garchomp immediately. There's no way you stay in with the Scizor and not Protect, right? Or maybe you just throw off a Bullet Punch, be like, okay, I'm willing to sack it to get rid of Lycanroc. I guess that could be played. Oh, don't be faint, actually. If you're faint, that's really bad. Okay, yeah, that's my fault. I should have considered that possibility. Did they self-Earthquake? I think they self-Earthquaked if they made this play. Good play on their part. Good play on their part. I didn't even have a switch, so that's actually... I mean, I can actually still win. This position is still fine. It's not the greatest, but I can still win. Because Swords Dance Gambit can set up now and be in a good spot. So I get a Giga Drain off into Garchomp, which means I get health recovery, which is actually kind of important. The Garchomp's in range of +2 Sucker Punch now, guaranteed. So this is playable. This is winnable. So we bring out the Gambit. It kind of depends on their last. But yeah, we're going to overheat and we're going to Swords Dance. Because we can't let the Scizor get a close combat off into the thing. They go for Protect Earthquake, which is fine. Okay. They go for Earthquake. And then next turn I can Sucker Punch Overheat if I want, I suppose. Yeah, because they don't do any damage to Gambit here. I could also go for another Swords Dance. The question is, do I think the Charizard can live a Sucker Punch? I guess that's a good question. Or I could Kowtow too. Overheat Kowtow to Scizor might be better. I actually like Overheat Kowtow to Scizor a bit better. I'm going to Overheat and Kowtow the Scizor slot. Okay, they're just going to go for Earthquake. So I get a double knockout. The question is what the final two Pokemon are. Okay, I hit, which is really important because if the Scizor got close combat or a Bug Bite off, it would have been devastating. We do get rid of the Scizor. I mean, I could have Sucker Punched and not taken the damage, but granted, like as long as King Gambit's around, that's the more important part. So I do get a Kowtow off in the Garchomp. This also punished like any switches into Charizard or anything of the like. So goodbye Garchomp. We're gonna take Rough Skin, but that's fine. Final two have to be revealed now. Sneasler. How useful Sneasler? I guess if it's Floette, we're in a good spot. Charizard is the final though. That's not too surprising to me. Okay. Incineroar. Ooh, wait, it's +3 it's +3 Sucker now. It is +3 Sucker now. Okay. So we're gonna go for an Overheat. We're gonna target the Incineroar and we're gonna protect our Gambit. You might be thinking why, but I just get Sneasler in and then I can threaten Fake Out the next turn, so it's not anything too bad. What's the Charizard going for? Oh no, they did Fake Out Heat Wave. They just didn't Mega Evolve. Which I'm kind of surprised because I don't know what they're saving the Mega Evolution for. I guess in case of Sun turns if they need it. Because they didn't KO Scovillain. I don't know if they want to keep Scovillain around or not. I get Overheat damage. This Overheat damage can matter because Fake Out into close combat could knock out the Incineroar even through Chople potential depending on their spread. So now we go for Rage Powder and we go for Sucker. I could make an aggressive play to try and win the game as well in the upcoming turns. I mean, I always just Sucker Punch the Charizard. The question is, do I want to make an aggressive play into the Incineroar in the future turns? Okay, we see the Mega Evolution now on the Charizard, so that's a very interesting choice. Okay. Where they think I target the Incin? I guess they don't know what my last Pokemon is. I don't get the... Is this Burning Jealousy? No way it's Burning Jealousy Incin. Like, that's the only way I see Mega Ball Protect being a play here. Okay, it's just Flare, but it's okay. Which is actually good because they'd still take Recoil. Now I have Fake Out plus Sucker. And then I have Close Combat Sucker. So yeah, we just go out into Sneasler. We click Fake Out, Sucker. Look, there's a world where I really do want to target the Incin, but sometimes opponents, when they are in a desperate spot, sometimes make some crazy plays like attacking with Zard, even though like Fake Out Sucker could be super obvious. So I'm just never gonna risk that. I'm just always targeting the Zard and just Fake Out the Incineroar, because the Incineroar has to be Chople too. Okay. Now it's just gonna come down to the Incin's like investment. If it's Chople, do I think it's Chople on this team? It could be. That's the problem. But yeah, we close combat. We go for Sucker. As much as I want to Sucker the Incin, I think this is still always mathematically the correct play. Protect. Yep, that's fine. Oh my god, it is actually Chople. Okay, do I KO? Oh, nowhere near close, actually. Well, That's my fault, I guess. So the two plays that were, well, actually, it wasn't even that bad of losing Lycanroc, realistically. Okay, so turn one obviously wasn't ideal, but I didn't have a good switch. And then I guess I had to sucker the instant at some point. I guess I should have played aggressive in the instant at some point. Can I win? I do probably live a Flare Blitz. Okay, if I get a Dire Claw Sleep on Charizard and then live the Flare Blitz with Sneasler, I can win. Because then they would take the Flare Blitz recoil, go down to recoil. And then maybe Dire Claw with like 2 shots. Okay, poison doesn't matter. Unless they Heat Wave for some reason. Yeah, you should always click Weather Ball. Okay, that was completely my fault. I should have just went for a Sucker Punch into the instant earlier. Or Kowtow even. Even just Kowtowing the instant earlier would have probably been better for me eventually. I was like, only thing that could lose me is Chople. I don't know its item. I was willing to gamble because they had Sinisha. Unfortunately, it was Chople for me. Alright, we have Medicham, Sylveon, King Gambit, Hisuian Zoroark, the Farigiraf, and Torkoal. Interesting team. That's something. Alright, what am I doing here? What am I gonna do here? Medicham. I mean, my Scovillain's pretty good here. I wish I had Spadef on Scovillain here because Spadef would be really nice. I definitely want to lead Scovillain and just get the Mega Evolution off immediately. Is it just Scovillain King Gambit? It might be. I think Scovillain King Gambit's probably fine. In the back, I'd probably want Bask because it's like a switch into Torkoal Eruption and then probably just bring the Lycanroc. Sneasler's not bad against this team either, which is what's making this difficult to decide. The problem is that Medicham actually is going to threaten some damage. That Mon does do a lot, and I mean a lot of damage. We'll see what happens though. Alright, what is your lead here? Medicham Sylveon. I can't tell if this is Zoroark in play or not. We could double protect because we do get access to Moody Boost. I think Medicham does get access to Feint. I don't think Feint is the worst thing that could happen here. Oh, Medicham also gets access to Trick Room, so they could Trick Room. Although Trick Room's not like terrible for me, so I think this is probably okay still. But things to consider, because I think Medicham does get access to Feint. If I'm not mistaken, it gets access to Trick Room as well, which is something I always forget that it still gets access to Trick Room, so they could Trick Room here. This could also be a Zoroark, like one of these could be Zoroark. I would like to figure out if there is a Zoroark on one of these slots. I don't think Zoroark is good against my team though, but you never know, right? So might as well just double protect, because unless it's like some setups here, I should be fine. They do get setup moves, but when you're facing the unknown and there is a fake out, you can just double protect turn one. Okay, so Medicham is a Medicham. Great information. Medicham is a Medicham. It's not Zoroark on that slot. It could still be Zoroark on the other slot though. Okay. Okay, that's Zoroark. How do I know? It moved before, or unless there's a Trick Room here. Is it Trick Room? No, it is Zoroark. Okay. Special attack boost, special defense fall. Okay. So I can Rage Powder with my Scovillain, and I can go for Kowtow Cleave. Because it's for Farigiraf, going for priority is a little bit weird here. So I think we always just go for Kowtow into the Medicham. I think this is probably max speed on the Medicham. I'm not really that worried about Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice doesn't really do that much damage from Zoroark here, so I'm not really too worried about it. We just go for the Rage Powder Kowtow here. The next turns are going to be what's tricky about this. So it's probably Sylveon. I don't know if Farigiraf's in the bag. That's a good question. Hyper Voice does a lot. The special defense drop. Also, we do get the burn on the Sylveon, aka the Zoroark. Poison Jab? No, they close combat. Yeah, it makes sense to close combat over Poison Jab. So Scovillain goes down. They take the defense drops. They take a burn. I think this is probably going down to Kowtow. Medicham's not the bulkiest Pokemon, and then I should be able to pressure afterward. But losing Scovillain in order to do that does stink. However, it's not terrible. Yeah, goodbye Medicham. Do I want to go Basky Legion, Lycanroc? I think I'd go Basky Legion because Hyper Voice could be the AR Scarf. Sylveon comes in. Okay. I mean, my play here is just to protect and kowtow, I'm pretty sure. This could be helping in Shadow Ball. This could be Hyper Beam into Gambit. I could Sucker Punch. I mean, I could Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch Last Respect doesn't sound terrible to me. I'm going to Sucker Punch, actually. I think they should swap out into Farigiraf if they have it. Probably the Zoroark switches out, but that's fine. Yeah. Farigiraf, yep, okay. I'm getting calls, right? But we'll see. Oh, wait. They actually switched. Wait. Okay, they Bitter Malice. Not great, but still acceptable. Because Citrus Berry means Bass survives. I mean, they got me on the Farig. I thought they were switching out the other slot for it, but I wasn't sure if it was Scarzork or regular, but that makes sense as well. We're going to go for Kowtow into the Giraffe and protect the Basque. Trying to figure out how I set this up to beat the Sylveon guaranteed, but I don't think we're in a terrible spot. I thought they were going to unleash a potential Hyper Beam into the Gambit to take the knockout and go for Farigiraf. That's why I was scared of the other switch. That's why I made the Last Respect play. They switch out the Giraffe into Sylveon, so I mean, good plays on their part. Now it's just going to be a mind game with the Giraffe the next turn. I get good damage into Sylveon at least. I really, really want to call... You know what? We're going to Wave Crash to Sylveon. Get as much damage as you can. I'm going for the Sucker Punch again. Are you going for Farigiraf? I could see it for the Zoroark this time. I don't think the Sylveon's switching, though. Like, the actual Sylveon. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, I'm right. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. There was a feeling in my gut. And now, because of the Wave Crash, I should put this in range of Rock Slide. So I can go for Rock Slide plus Kowtow, which is really nice. Zoroark goes down, so I do get them on that. And Wave Crash is stronger than Last Respect currently, so we go for the Wave Crash, and the recoil's not too big of a deal. Yeah. Perfect. Hyper Voice. Oh, they went greedy and went for Calm Mind. Interesting. Yeah, they're gonna forfeit. Okay, very interesting game. But you know what? We'll take it. I just had a feeling because I didn't think the Giraffe play made sense. So how was the team? I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. King Gambit, Sneasler, Basky Legion. These Pokemon are just absolutely ridiculous, especially compared to the rest of the decks in the VGC MA format. It's absolutely absurd. I really do like Scovillain's gameplay more than Frostlass in general, just because I'm more comfortable having that redirection to support the King Gambit. Also, just having the ability to burn opponents is really nice, especially into a lot of the heavy physical attackers. Frostlass, I don't think we really got to bring much, but it is still able to put in work, especially since it's one of the better answers into the guard chomps. And of course, some matchups especially can be very useful in the rain matchup. And sometimes you'll bring Scovillain and Frostlass to the same matchup, which it can be useful against. So that's definitely a thing. Lycanroc was able to put in work. Close Combat was able to do some pretty good damage. Accelerock, we didn't Accelerock any Charizards, unfortunately, I believe. However, it still was able to put in a good amount of work, damage-wise at least, for the team. And was solid. If you'd like to check out the details of this recreation and try it out, there is a replica code on your screen, but otherwise you can check it out down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.